really for the last month, every win we've had has been the most important win. Tonight was the best win of the season. And, a lot of things didn't go well. I think it's great training ground for where we're headed in the NCAA tournament. We talked about when we were down 5-1 that in the postseason you get behind. If you press, if you panic, the season gets away from you in a hurry. And these guys have not done that the entire season. And that was the best example of it tonight. Really excited about the off day tomorrow. They deserve it. They've earned it. And get ready for Kentucky or South Carolina on Saturday. But awesome game. These two were phenomenal. I mean, Michael, what a special player and performance tonight. Couldn't be prouder of him. Has been one of the best shortstops in the country, especially over the last 3 or 4 weeks, has taken us to a new level since moving him into the leadoff spot. And this guy, Jake Brown, is going to be, one of the next staple players of this deal for a long time, and showed his ability tonight and inserted him in. And, the home run, jumps off the page, but the other at-bats, including the one in the ninth there to help set the table and then ultimately score the winning run was awesome. So good night, and excited for what's next.
All right, we'll take questions for the players. Start on the right, second row.
Chessa Boucher with WVLA in Baton Rouge. Michael, facing your former team, you get the game-winning hit. What were the emotions for you after you realized what you did?
I mean, I couldn't find a moment where I've been happier in the sport of baseball. Like, honestly, I have respect for the South Carolina program, but I'm an LSU Tiger. And, there's been a lot of, social media things going on in the last recent days. And, to get that hit really kind of just gave me satisfaction on a lot of things. So it meant the world to me.
All right, on the fourth row on the right.
Alex Day, College Baseball Central. Michael, since you've been in that leadoff spot, you seem to have really thrived. What is it about being in that spot that's really helped you focus and really be able to set the table for the team?
Well, my main thing is when I'm leading off, I know that, look, I have Tommy and Jared Jones behind me, right? And those are two of the most dangerous hitters in the country, and my job is to get on base so they can drive me in. And that's the only mindset I have when I'm up there. I'm not trying to hit a home run. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. I just want to get on base for my guys. And it kind of takes pressure off me, because when I'm at the lower part of the lineup, I'm trying to, maybe sometimes I get out of myself. But when I'm in the leadoff spot, all I want to do is just be a team guy, and that's why I think I've thrived in that spot. So,
in the front row,
Michael Cookie Riley with the Advocate. What were you sort of telling yourself to sort of stay in the moment when, again, there's just so many emotions going through you with, the potential game-winning run at third base, you're facing your former team, all these other factors?
Well, our first base coach, Chief Wanaka, he told me before the game, he said, play the baseball, not them, right? And that's what I did in my last AB. I said, look, this is no different than they be in the first, third, fourth, or fifth. And if I make it anything more than that, the results won't come. And if I just calm myself down and play like a normal AB and treat it like a normal AB, then the results will come. So that's really what it was. Thank you.
On the second row on the left.
Fidel, you came in there in the eighth. Cole Messina had already had 6 RBI, and you have to face him. What was the game plan there, and what were you able to do to get a strikeout?
The game plan was just to get ahead in the count, obviously attack him with my stuff. When you're facing a guy like that, just kind of trusting that your stuff's good enough to get him out, and strike 1, strike 2, strike 3.
All right, center of the room, last row.
For Michael, John Eads from WFB in Baton Rouge. You said when you came to LSU, you wanted to work on your offense. That was a big reason why you came here. The coaching staff said they would help you develop that area of your game. So how satisfying is it that you now use those offensive improvements to beat your former team?
Man, it's more than satisfying, but I realize there's a lot of season left for us, and I truly believe that. And I'm not going to act like this is the World Series or anything like that. We might play them again or Kentucky on Saturday. So I don't want to treat this like it happened and it was great in the moment, yes, but we're moving on to Saturday, and that's my next focus. So.
All right, we have time for one more for the players in the back right.
Jack Schemmel, WBRZ in Baton Rouge. Michael, the freshmen, Stephen Milam and Jake Brown today, I think 6 hits combined in a game like today. What have they meant to this team this season and late in the season as well?
they meant the world to us, right? Jake Brown coming in wherever we need him and doing his jobs, and Steven playing Gold Glove defense at second base and squaring up balls. I mean, they have a bright future at LSU and a bright future in baseball, period. And I can't wait to watch them for the next 2 years and see what they can do.
Actually, we'll take one more in the front row for the players.
Fidel, when you came into the game, I think you walked the first two batters. How were you able to sort of, I guess, find your stuff again, find your command again, and really lock down those last two innings?
Right. It all came down to just taking a deep breath, finding a focal point, like to look at somewhere. We always pick out somewhere in the stadium, just a small focal point, take a deep breath, and attack. First pitch.
What was the focal point?
It was a comma in front of like two words. I don't even know what the words say. It just know it was a small little comma, and I just stare at it for a few seconds, take a deep breath, and yeah.
Excellent. Michael, Fidel, congratulations. We'll see you again on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, man.
All right, if there are questions for Coach, please raise your hand. Let's start in the front.
Coach, how big is it to get the day off for tomorrow and then just set up the pitching for Saturday?
Yeah, it was big. So we've kind of been taking this in increments. Yesterday's game was to get out of the 9:30 slot. We were playing for the afternoon championship. Like, that's what we were going for. Tonight was the off-day championship. And then we're going to go to Fleming's. I told them, we went to Fleming's on Sunday night when we arrived, and I said, if we have the off day on Friday, we'll go to Fleming's again. And it's kind of a postseason tradition here for the last couple years. So we got the off day and we got the steak. So we have a lot of very happy guys going back to that hotel tonight.
All right, second row on the right.
Coach, the moment for Michael, I know it means a lot to him. For you as a coach, being his coach now, what was going through your mind about that?
Yeah, a lot at the time. It was honestly, okay, who do we have left in the bullpen? Left, right, who's coming up? Okay, we're going to go to Paxton in center. We'd pinch run for Steven. Ben's going to go to second. We're going to shift Jake around. And then it was like, okay, my man over here, that's a big deal. I've actually done something similar like that. That's a big deal in his life. And I thought about, hey, I might need to go talk to him, just go play shortstop now. But, he showed so much poise the entire night, the entire game, and he did exactly what Coach Wanaka kind of told him to do. Just play the game. You're playing it's about the ball. It's about execution. It's not about that. And we have great respect for them. It was pretty simple. He went in the portal. And as I said yesterday or the day before, I liked him as a player. That's really all this was about, Didn't compare him to anybody else. I just really liked the way he played. I thought he'd make our team better. And he's playing his best baseball right now of the season. That's the story. It's not about this game tonight or that. It's he's playing his best baseball of the season right now.
In the back, center.
Coach, at points this game was reminiscent to game threes we've seen this season where the bullpen struggles, you get down kind of early. But what does this say about the team's fight and resilience to come all the way back, battle back, and end out on top here?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I have full confidence in the guys that went out there tonight. I actually think we pitched better than 10 runs. I know that's going to sound crazy or I'm trying to spin a positive. I think we pitched better than what the numbers actually showed tonight. I think the story is we were down 5-1 going into the top of the fourth inning, and we actually took an offensive timeout and took a meeting. And I did this in the Wake Forest game last year in Omaha when we got down 2-0 in the first championship game with them, and just said, hey, we had already talked about this. You get to the postseason, you get behind. Sometimes you can press or you can panic, and then the game gets away from you. It's we can't do that. We have to just continue to play. And then within 4 hitters, the game was tied. It was unbelievable. I don't know that you could do that any better than that. And then it got to 10-7, and Cole Messina is a beast. Holy cow. I don't know where to start trying to get him out right now. And he single-handedly almost beat us tonight. So he gets a big 2-run single there. They go ahead again, and they push a couple more across. We're down 10-7 again. And then, Veach, he had one of the best relief performances against our superstar team last year. So it wasn't necessarily looking great. And then they just did it again. And it was, Josh Pearson, hit that ball hard. I'm sure it was an error, but he smoked it. And then, the freshman at the end of the game, he gave him base hit, and Larson almost, I thought he hit a 3-run homer right there when it came off the bat against a seasoned pitcher. So you got your young guys doing it. And then Fidel, is a good question here about how he got it together right there. I mean, we couldn't go down 2. There's a big difference between 1 and 2 run lead in the 9th inning, as we saw at Alabama a couple weeks ago. What poise to execute that. And I'm super proud of him. He's really helped us out here down the stretch and is doing a great job.
4th row toward the right.
Coach, you mentioned how coming up in the 9th, you've got 3 freshmen coming up, and they all execute for you. How impressed are you with them both tonight and throughout the season?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. There's none running around the league right now. There's none, and it's a game that is pretty important still for us with where we're trying to go and what we're trying to accomplish. And we got 3 of them in the lineup. I think maybe A&M has 2 in there on a daily basis, but I don't think anybody has 3. And Jake's kind of been in and out, but we're rolling with Ashton and Steven. But they got a lot of potential. And I like the skills that they have. They are very wheelhouse players for me is what I call them. And we're going to have a lot of fun, developing those guys here, in this postseason run we're going to have and for the next couple years.
All right, 2 more right here.
Coach, you mentioned Jake. What sort of inspired you to start him today in center?
Yeah, I think he's taken 2 really good at-bats here. He singled on Tuesday, and then he smoked one, I thought, to left yesterday on a pitch that was 96 or 97. I don't remember who threw it for Kentucky. He started off the spring good. He was the opening day starter in the outfield. And I like left-handed hitters. Our team's a little bit counter to that, but I like left-handed hitters. I liked the matchup today against Pitzer for him. And so it's a combination of I thought he's taking 2 good at-bats. He's got explosive tools. It's going to be exciting when he really becomes a great player because there's all the ability there in the world. I could throw out some major league player comparisons, but it's going to be fun to kind of tackle that next step with him the next couple of years.
2nd row on the left.
You mentioned Messina almost single-handedly, won the game tonight. After the grand slam, he comes up again with the bases loaded, and you probably don't want to walk him and tie the game, but what did you tell your pitcher? What was the goal for that at-bat?
Yeah, Christian's done a great job executing pitches here. Kind of a tough outing tonight, but, he had 5 guys in a row with 2 strikes during that stretch. So it wasn't again, there's 4 runs on the board, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. We pitched better than the 10 runs that were on the board. We couldn't quite put anybody away there in that stretch, and that's real hitting right there. If the guy hits one 500 feet, and I saw both of them on TV yesterday back at the hotel, and so to have the self-discipline and control to stay on a slider and rip it in the right center field gap, that looked like Edgar Martinez, or early Cardinals years Albert Pujols. So that was impressive.
Sorry, last one on the right.
Stephen Milam, 4 hits today. I know we talked about him a little bit, but why is he so hard to get out right now?
He's really improved a lot. We have a lot of history together. I've known him since he's in 7th grade. And, he's obviously undersized for a player in the SEC, but the baseball acumen, the skill is unreal. The aptitude is what I've come to appreciate the most. He's so much if you go backwards 5 weeks and we're at Tennessee and we're 3-12, you wouldn't even recognize the difference in the player. You wouldn't even recognize it. And that's saying a lot for a guy that might have a ceiling or a perceived ceiling, but he's got unbelievable determination, grit, will, and the baseball acumen is off the charts. The at-bats he's taking, the pitches he's laying off, the pitches he's spoiling with 2 strikes. If we're playing at the box, he'd have 4 home runs in the 3 games that we've played here. There's a lot of power, in that body, and he's played great defense. And the toughness part of it, he got whacked on the foot with a 93-mile-an-hour pitch yesterday, and he's hobbling around out there and got 4 pretty big hits, in that game. I'll never take him out of a game if I don't have to. That was the tying run, and Paxton's the fastest player that I've ever seen, so that's the only reason we pinch ran for him.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Enjoy the steak.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Todd.
See you Saturday.
All right.